Every Spider-Man movie has been under mirror from large number of fans. Each sequel of Spider-Man has been both hated and liked. The details about this reboot have set all of us up in the air for a new movie. Movie Tunes presents Top 10 Unknown Facts about New Spider-Man Homecoming. 10. Homecoming hints at the 1984 comic book storyline. Homecoming is a great subtitle for a number of reasons. 1. It's a subtitle and not a number, which brings it firmly within Marvel's movie naming convention of subtitling every film, to explain what's going on, excepting the Iron Man franchise, of course. 2. It's emotionally rewarding for fans who see the film as Spider-Man finally coming home to Marvel where he belongs. But mostly, Homecoming is a great subtitle because we get to speculate on what it could mean for the next year. The title of The Amazing Spider-Man 252, Homecoming, was the comic book world's introduction to Spider-Man's black costume. 9. Vulture is the villain. Reported to be the sole villain in the film in an effort to maximize the impact, Vulture is often portrayed in the comics as an old man, with a flying mechanical suit. And while we've seen the whole mech suit thing done over and over in Marvel films, it would be interesting to see a teenage Spider-Man face off against a villain that is so much older than him, perhaps 3 or 4 times his age. It is also good to see the film is attempting new things. Rather they go to the Superman route by pretending the only villains in this world are Lex Luthor and Zod. 8. It will be a coming-of-age story. Watts has gone on record saying, "We're really going to see Peter Parker in high school and get deeper into that side of it. He's just 15 now." So we know that Spider-Man Homecoming won't see an actor in his late 20s. This time, his high school life will be as important as the villains he is fighting. 7. Every Marvel character is invited. Feige has said that Spider-Man is the universe now, and the fun of the universe is that characters go back and forth. And while that gets us excited for Spider-Man joining the Avengers in the future, in the near term it means that Spider-Man can benefit from the Marvel Cinematic Universe connectivity that's been built up over the years. So although the film is a reboot, we can expect to see established Marvel plotlines and characters come through and provide us with a level of depth and excitement that a standalone Spider-Man film could never have done before. 6. Aunt May isn't the old lady you think she is. Sony was at one point developing a spin-off starting Aunt May, and you get the sense that they are eager to change things a little bit and move Aunt May away from being a concerned mother figure into an active human character. And that's where Marisa Tomei comes in. The youngest actor to play Aunt May on screen yet, Tomei could bring a sense of humor and willingness to get involved that we've never seen from Aunt May before, thus setting her up to be a big part of the Spider-Man franchise going forward. 5. Jonas Jameson will be there, but not played by who you hope. He was perfect in the role throughout Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man trilogy, and his work since has proven how much more he can elevate a role like Jameson. What's more, Simmons has even gone on recording saying that he'd love to play Jameson again in the film, and if that wasn't enough, he's currently voicing Jameson in Marvel's own Ultimate Spider-Man animated TV series. So you'd think the stars would be aligned for Simmons' return as J. Jonah Jameson, but you'd be wrong. While it's been reported that Marvel is eyeing other actors for the role, most notably Ice Cube, the biggest nail in the J.K. Simmons coffin was when he was cast as Commissioner Gordon in Justice League, thus setting him up to be an integral part of the competing DC Universe movie plans for the foreseeable future. And if you can't imagine a world in which one of DC's biggest stars crosses over to MCU to yell for pictures of Spider-Man, you're right, there isn't a world where that's possible. 4. It's not an origin story. We get it, Peter Parker is a nerd, and his Uncle Ben dies, and he learns to be a superhero and he has a tough time. We've seen the story over and over again in comics and TV series and video games and movies. We don't need to see it again, and thankfully, Sony and Marvel know this. With Spider-Man Homecoming, they're sparing us the origin story. Supposedly being introduced in Civil War as just another superhero who's been swinging around New York for a while, Spider-Man will be fully established by the time he comes home in Homecoming. It's an exciting proposition to swing into the Spider-Man universe without spending half the movie focusing on Peter in the street clothes, as this way we can jump right into the action and get more bang for our buck. Sure, we want a well-rounded film that has richly drawn characters and a memorable plot, but what we don't need is an hour of hand-holding to get us there. Thankfully, with Spider-Man Homecoming, we'll get the Spider-Man we know without having to deal with the origin story we know even better. 3. A Stark Industries suit will be present. Judging from the Captain America Civil War trailer and the first real look we have at the new Spider-Man in motion, it's clear that there's some fancy tech working underneath the red and blue webbing of Spidey's suit. One look at the eyes narrowing on the electric sound that accompanies the movement, you can tell. This is Stark Industries technology at its very finest. Since we know that Spider-Man will be on Team Iron Man, we can assume the Civil War will be at least loosely following the comics and will show Stark's relationship with Peter Parker, as he takes him under his wing in exchange for siding with him. It's then that Stark helps Peter with his Spider-Man costume and gives him a few necessary upgrades. After all, genius or not, Peter Parker doesn't have the billions of dollars that the lab pays to make something as kick-ass as he'll no doubt have in the film. 2. Sony has hopefully learned from its mistakes. After the box office and critical disappointment that was The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Sony seemed at a loss with what to do with its flagship franchise. Though they had announced prior to the film a plan to churn out a new Spider-Man film a year, spin-offs and shared universes were axed following The Amazing Spider-Man 2. With the lowest gross of any of the 5 Spider-Man films, audiences just weren't embracing the wall crawler the way Sony wanted them to. And the unthinkable happened. Marvel stepped in to take control. 1. It's a Marvel movie, distributed by Sony. When it was announced that Marvel and Sony were miraculously sharing the rights to Spider-Man, no one knew many of the details. Plans and contracts were being worked out, and are still being worked out to this day. Though Sony Pictures is producing alongside Marvel Studios, Feige has made it clear that Marvel is dealing with the creative side, as they hired Tom Holland, they're orchestrating his introduction into the MCU, and they're going to make sure that everything is on par with their past Marvel films. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like this video, press subscribe button on the screen for more awesome videos.